So this just happened. I decided to comment on NASA's Facebook page and I said, please give my $75 million per day back from lying Freemason satanic propaganda pushers. And look who commented. None other than Ryan, thank you for your comment. Please message me. So I did. I said, you don't have to build the beast system all on your own, sir. Let somebody else do it. Turn to Jesus before it's too late. Also, are you allowed to tell the people that your rockets are hitting the firmament and they're not exploding?
For the record, if I'm flying along at 41,000 feet, as these pilots were, usually you're going to have a pretty clear sight of the horizon. But if all your instruments went completely black, assuming that your engines were still running, there's no reason ever to nose the plane over. You're flying flat, level. The flight was in the daytime, from what I can understand, so
I was reading a lot of stuff on the flat Earth.
Okay, yeah. True.
That's true?
Yeah.
Okay, alright, cool. God bless.
How long have you been flying for?
But 21 years, but maybe like 30 something.
I want to know, because they say the pilots know a lot. Do you think the Earth is flat, or?
I know it's flat.
You know it's flat?
Did you notice any curvature while we were up there?
No.
No? What did you see while we were up there?
This is the blue sky, white clouds.
Yeah, is it flat or?
Pretty flat.
Pretty flat?
Yeah.
Alright, thank you.
Brother.
Did you notice any curvature while we were up there?
Curvature? No.
No? There's no curvature?
It's all flat.
Okay, I'm going to ask you a question.
Yeah.
I've been flying, and I've come to the conclusion there's no curvature. I never allow for curvature. There's no way there's curvature. We're round and flat, aren't we?
Yeah.
We are, aren't we?
Well, there's
Thank you.
pancake.
I have a question for modern pastors and preachers. How come y'all don't preach about biblical truth anymore? How come y'all don't preach about Genesis 1:7-9 that states that God made a firmament to separate the waters above from the waters below, creating a flat plane on a earth that shall never be moved? How come we don't preach on that? How come y'all don't preach on the fallen angels of the earth mating with the women of the earth to create the Nephilim, which was the giants of the earth that roamed the land for quite some time? How come y'all don't ever talk about that? How come y'all don't ever talk about miracles? How come y'all don't ever talk about all the supernatural things that go on in the Bible? How come y'all don't talk about dragons, even though they're mentioned 24 times in the Bible? How come y'all don't talk about the Leviathan or anything else like that? How come? I would like to know.
So if you believe that is 93 million miles away in space, then the globe is your religion. And it puts the sun at the center of the universe, when we all know that that light isn't far away, and that light is going around us. We can't prove that we're spinning, there's no scientific evidence to support that. But observations of nature tell you that that is a local light. Things like crepuscular rays tell us that it's not far away. There's no way it can be 93 million miles away and affect the Earth in the way that it does. It's all impossible. So if you do believe in the heliocentric religion, all you're really doing is worshipping the god Baal. That's why they've made it into a ball and put the sun at the center. So all I'm saying is this: why do you believe what you believe? Did you come up with that notion on your own? Did you decide for yourself how far away the sun was? Did you measure it for yourself? All this information that's coming from Neil deGrasse Tyson, Brenda Cox and his mates, what if they're not being authentic? What if they are there just to take us away from the truth and deceive us from what's really going on and detach us from the creator of this whole thing? Is it not possible? Yeah, it sounds far-fetched, but is it not possible that you've been lied to your whole life?
Von Braun's co-worker telling us what he really wanted her to know.
About why we shouldn't be putting weapons in space. What was most interesting to me was a repetitive sentence that he said to me over and over again during the approximately 4 years that I had the opportunity of working with him. The strategy that Wernher von Braun taught me was that first the Russians are going to be considered to be the enemy. In fact, when I met him in '74, they were the enemy. Then terrorists would be identified, and that was soon to follow. Then we were going to identify third world country crazies. We now call them nations of concern. And the funniest one of all was against what he called aliens.
First they tell us, oh, there's intelligent life and other life forms in space, and there's aliens and they're intelligent and they can create things, and we've talked to them, but then all of a sudden they're coming out and saying, no, actually the aliens are in the waters. They're in the waters. We have their bodies. We have some of their bodies. We've communicated with them. We've spoken to them. Randomly coming out, suddenly coming out and saying that. Listen, y'all, Satan is the God of this world, lowercase g. He has to set us up. Hook, line, sinker. Remember that. Hook, line, sinker. He has to set us up. He tells us, look here, so he can do something there. In the book of Revelation, it literally says countless times that everything is coming out of the waters. That, behold, I saw a beast coming out of the sea. Behold, the great river Euphrates drying up, and the 4 angels will be loose. Everything is coming out of the waters at the end. And so now they're like, oh, shoot, we got to scramble. We got to actually tell them it's in the water, because we know that there's nothing coming from the skies in Revelation other than Jesus Christ who's coming on the clouds. Jesus Christ who's coming on the clouds is the only thing coming from the sky, my boys. All the deception you'll see there, that's just random deception. They can't do anything. It's just lying wonders is what the Bible says. It's just lying wonders. Only Jesus is coming on the clouds, okay? All of these things are here on earth because they have no place in heaven. They've been casted down to earth. They're not coming from there. They're coming from the waters. Oh, woo, big revelation, right?
Let's talk about the Siren, the most powerful female seductress of them all. She's not just sexy, she is magnetic. She's the kind of woman that Cleopatra was. And by the way, appearance-wise, she was mid. She wasn't a Victoria's Secret model. If you don't believe me, look it up. But it was all about her energy. The same energy that Marilyn Monroe had. She had this soft voice, this very strong presence, and total control. By the way, I just hit 60K, and as a way of saying thank you, I'm finally putting up this video that you guys asked about when it comes to my hair. You guys talk a mix of that feminine allure along with the masculine confidence. She doesn't just walk into a room, she enters it. There's a huge difference. Every gesture, every glance, every word of hers is intentional. She's basically starring in her own movie, and she makes everyone else around her feel like they are just a cameo. And here's the thing, men are visual creatures. We all know that. They see long before they feel. And the Siren, she uses this to her advantage. She doesn't wait for attention. She commands it. It's powerful. It's theatrical. It's basically unforgettable. A real Siren, a woman that commands attention, never chases. She doesn't need to, okay? There's not a man on this planet who can resist her. The thing is that women invented seduction. Just go back to history. The queens, the courtesans, but their influence, massive. Empires fell, wars were started, and alliances shifted, all because of a woman who understood her power. Seduction is not manipulation. It is enchantment. It is the art of putting someone under your spell.
Mythical creatures that are in the Bible. Let's talk about it, because I see a whole lot of people that be like, oh, I don't believe in mermaids. Oh, I don't believe in this and that. But it was in the Bible. Now let's talk about it. So the first thing on my list is the beautiful sirens that we know and love, that I talk about all the time on my page. Or some might call them mermaids, potato, potato. They're sirens. And the sirens are mentioned in the book of Enoch. They were basically the women that the angels, the fallen angels, came down and mated with, and in return God turned them to the siren because they weren't supposed to be mating with these. That was their punishment. So next up, we're going to be talking about the giants, are also known as the Nephilim. So many different texts talk about the Nephilim. People be like, oh, I don't believe in giants. But they were literally in the Bible and talked about a lot. They were the offspring of the fallen angels. Those were known as the Nephilim. Mainly in the book of Revelation, the dragon is a powerful symbolic figure often identified with Satan. Now, I said all this to say that all of these kid-friendly creatures like unicorns, dragons, and these cartoon movies, they originated from somewhere. And a lot of it originated from biblical text. So when y'all be like, oh, I don't believe in mermaids, I don't believe in dragons and all these type of mythical creatures, they're not mythical, boo. Because if you're saying that, then that means everything else in the Bible that you believe is mythical. So how can you not believe in things that was in the Bible?
It was actually banned from the Bible. Chapter 6 of Enoch, 200 angels descend, take human wives, and create a race of giants, the Nephilim. By chapter 17, those women who birthed them are turned into sirens, not a metaphor, literal. These aren't fantasy creatures. This is ancient scripture that was once removed from the Bible.
At the end of the day, here's what I'm saying. Watch the waters, not the skies. The real stuff is coming from the waters. That's why now they're trying to direct your attention, because now if something weird comes from the water, now they can program your mind to believe it's aliens and not what's in the Bible, what's in the book of Revelations. They say some of them are nice and then some of them are evil.
Extraterrestrials, that would be the final card. And over and over and over during the 4 years that I knew him and was giving his speeches for him, he would bring up that last card. And remember, Carol, the last card is the alien card. We're going to have to build space-based weapons against aliens. And all of it, he said, is a lie.
Wakey, wakey, Globers, you don't have long to wake up to God.
Psalms 19:1 says, "The heavens declare the glory of God, and the firmament, the hard pounded out solid dome, showeth his handiwork."
There's a common misconception that the pipeline goes regular Christian, super Christian, then flat earth, when the actual pipeline is atheist, flat earth, very, very Christian. It's like you skip the lukewarm phase, because biblical earth teaches you how much God is in your surroundings and how he created everything. It's such an important piece of the puzzle. Flat earth or biblical earth is a direct pipeline to finding God. Waking people up to biblical earth is the easiest way to get atheists and agnostics to open that Bible. And when they start reading and they see that the truths that exist within flat earth go hand in hand with the Bible, that is how you get them to look for the gospel. Of course, it's great to share the Bible, but most people that are not religious in any sense sense are likely going to hear it as just mumbo jumbo, and I'm a former atheist, so I can attest to this. A lot of atheists are that way because the truth in our surroundings has been covered up to hide God. When you lift that veil for people, that is what gets them to be able to hear the message of the gospel. Flat/biblical earth brings so many people to God. I know so many people have this story and they would have never come to God if they didn't try to disprove flat earth. And that is exactly why there are so many people that are so passionate about sharing flat earth. And that's also why they've tried so hard to discredit flat earth and get people to not even consider the idea, because it's the missing link between most atheists and becoming Christian.